Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 13th. A couple of number one prospects getting and got the calls, and Civale, well, he asked for a trade and he got one. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We're getting closer and closer to the middle of the month of June. We're pretty much at the middle of the month. And we've got plenty of baseball still left to be had. We're about a month away from the All-Star break. Make sure you're voting for your All-Star players. I've got my list of guys who I've been voting for. You get 5 votes a day, so make sure to be using those up. We've got a good one for you here today, so let's dive on into our series recap. Leading us off, we've got the Rays and the Red Sox. Roman Anthony makes his MLB debut in a back-and-forth game that had some ups and downs. The Red Sox scored 2 in the 9th to tie this game up, but the Rays hold on to score 2 runs in the 11th and win this game 10-8. But Boston comes back in the next 2. Roman Anthony's first MLB hit. It's a 2-run double. Story goes deep. It's 3-1 Boston in that game. And then Marcelo Mayer, his first multi-homer game, his second and third home runs in a career. That didn't take long. 4-3 Boston. They take 2 of 3 from Tampa. Tigers and O's. Now the Tigers, led by a Spencer Torkelson bomb, his 16th of the season, take a 5-3 win in the opener, but Baltimore comes back. Ramon Urias, Jordan Westbrook both homering as Baltimore scores 7 runs in the 8th to blow it open. 10-1 your final there. But it's Dylan Dingler and Parker Meadows who goes deep. Parker Meadows, his first homer of the season. It's a 4-1 Tigers win as they take 2 of 3 from the Oilers. Yankees and Royals. Now the Yankees are led by Aaron Judge and Austin Wells in Game 1 as both of them homer for a 10-2 Yankees win. Then in Game 2, the Yankees scored 5 in the second off of Chris Bubich, who was the ERA leader at one point. An absolute catastrophic game as Aaron Judge homers again. 6-3 Yankees, the final in that one. And then Paul Goldschmidt, an RBI single off the glove of the first baseman, Pasquantino. Pablo Reyes, a little stumbling around. He scores the only run of this one. 1-0 Yankees as New York sweeps the Royals. Reds and Guardians now. The Reds enter in the Ohio Bowl. The TJ Friedl and Jake Fraley both go deep. It's 7-4 Cincy in the opener. Spencer Steer scores the only run in Game 2 with an RBI single for a 1-0 Reds win. And as Cincy looks for the sweep, it's the Guardians that shut them down. Carlos Santana, yet the veteran, still doing it. A grand slam for him. And Lane Thomas hits his first home run of the year. It's 11-2 Guardians the final, but the Reds take 2 of 3 in the Ohio battle. Rangers and Twins. Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford both go deep as the Rangers score 5 in the 5th and 6th in the 8th for a 16-4 Rangers win. In Game 2, though, it's Byron Buxton, one of the faces of that franchise. A go-ahead 3-run moonshot. 479 feet from Buxton. It's a 6-2 Twins win to even up the series. But in the rubber match, the Rangers do it again. Josh Smith, Jake Berger, Evan Carter, Wyatt Langford, Adolis Garcia, Sam Haggerty, 6 Rangers all going deep. It's another 16-3 win for the Rangers as they take 2 of 3 in some offensive displays against Minnesota. White Sox and Astros. Luis Robert goes deep in the opener. He gets 2 RBIs on the day to a 4-2 White Sox win, but that would be the only one as the Astros come back. Christian Walker goes deep and has a 4 RBI day in Game 2 for a 10-2 Astros win. And in the match, Isaac Paredes, 15th homer of the season. That's the difference in this game and this series as the Astros take a 4-3 victory and 2 of 3 from the White Sox. A's and Angels now. Joe Adell goes yard, and Kikuchi has his best start as an Angel as they take a 7-4 victory in the opener. In Game 2, Travis d'Arnaud, he would go deep in the 8th inning to tie the game up at 1, and in the bottom of the 10th, it's Nolan Shanuel who wins it, a walk-off single as the kid gets to be the hero. 2-1 Angels victory there. And in Game 3, Brent Rooker has a 2-homer game, his 14th and 15th homers on the year. But the Angels, they score 6 runs. All of their runs in this game came in that 6th inning, and it was capped off by another Joe Adell homer, his 12th on the season on the Game 1, his 13th in this game. 6-5 Angels as they sweep the A's in the series. Nationals and Mets now. Nathaniel Lau and CJ Abrams both going deep for the Nats. Soto would go yard for the Mets, and they would tie it in the 8th. A Soto double and an Alonso single keeps this one going and into extras where the Mets would win it, with Jeff McNeil hitting a walk-off single to take the opener 5-4, the final there. In Game 2, it's Soto with another home run. How about Brandon Nimmo? A 2-homer game, his 11th and 12th on the year. It's 5-0 Mets as David Peterson shuts out the Nats in that game. And in the finale, McNeil goes deep once again. Nimmo going deep. Both those guys homers. The Nats almost come back. They scored 3 runs in the 9th, had the tying and go-ahead runs on the bases, but the Mets hold on 4-3 the final there, and New York takes the sweep over the Nationals. Cubs and Phillies now. Kyle Tucker and Ian Happ, they both homer to tie this one up, and into extras we would go. The Phillies tie it in the 11th, and Brandon Marsh wins it with a walk-off single as the Phillies come and take a 4-3 win in the opener. In Game 2, it's the Cubs' power as Dansby Swanson, Michael Busch both going deep, and Ian Happ, a 2-homer game. He's got 3 home runs on the series, 8-4 Cubs to even up this series. But in the rubber match, it's Schwarber and Alec Bohm who both go deep. The Phillies hold on to a 7-2 victory and get an important series win, 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. They needed that. Marlins and Pirates now. Welcome back Yuri Perez, making his season debut back from IL, but unfortunately struggles in his first outing. The Pirates scored 4 runs in an inning twice. They totaled for a 10-3 victory in the opener there. In Game 2, Ke'Bryan Hayes hits his 2nd home run of the season. O'Neal Cruz hits his 13th late in this one, but it's Nick Fortes, a 2-run home run, his 2nd on the year, helps the Marlins out to a 3-2 victory to even up the series. But Game 3 was all about Andrew McCutcheon as he hits a home run to help the Pirates win this game, but it passes Roberto Clemente on the all-time Pirates home run list. A special moment for him after the game with them. 5-2 the final as the Pirates take 2 of 3 from the Marlins. Braves and Brewers now. Acuna, Olsen, and Eli White, of all players, going deep for the Braves in a 7-1 victory. Game 2, you saw the kid Jackson Chourio and Jake Bowers going deep to get a 4-1 victory. The Brewers even up the series. And in Game 3, Michael Harris II and Ronald Acuna Jr. again. Both those guys go deep. It's a 6-2 Braves victory as Atlanta takes 2 of 3 from the Brewers. Blue Jays at Cardinals. We've got a bird off. Alejandro Kirk goes deep in this one. Ivan Herrera hits a 3-run go-ahead home run in the 8th for the Cardinals, but it's Jonathan Clase getting his first home run of the year and first as a Jay to tie this game up in the 9th inning. And in extras, it's Alejandro Kirk again, an RBI double. Scores the run. The Jays hold the Cardinals to a 5-4 victory in the opener. Kirk's been hot and he goes deep once again in Game 2 alongside Andres Jimenez as the Cardinals out-homered the Blue Jays with Nolan Gorman, Nolan Arenado, and Wilson Contreras, but the Blue Jays still hold on to a 10-9 victory, very close one. And in the last game, Ernie Clement hits his 4th home run of the season. The Blue Jays take the Battle of the Birds 5-2. The final there, they sweep the Cardinals as one of these teams is going up and one of them is going down. Mariners and D-backs now. Game 1 was full of fun as Corbin Carroll, he goes deep in this one. The Mariners scored 4 in the 9th to tie the game up. Dominic Canzone, his first home run of the season, ties the game up at 4. We need extras. Bases are loaded in the 11th for the D-backs. Up steps Josh Naylor, who hits a walk-off grand slam. Some PTSD going both ways in this one. 8-4 Diamondbacks, the final there. In Game 2, Randy and Tellez. Rowdy goes back-to-back for the Mariners, but it's the D-backs' offensive power in Gurriel Jr., Gabriel Moreno, and Alec Thomas, who all go deep as the D-backs take a 10-3 victory there. And in the last game, Eugenio Suarez hits his 3rd grand slam of the season already, his 19th home run on the year. Pavin Smith would join him in the home run party as the D-backs win a 5-2 victory and take the sweep over the Mariners in that one. NL West time, Giants and Rockies. McMahon and Farmer go deep for the Rockies. Willy Adames and Casey Schmidt homer for the Giants as they come back from down 3 with 4 runs in the 9th. How do you like that, San Fran? 6-5 the final in that one. In Game 2, Adames goes deep again, and it's another 3-run comeback for the Giants. They scored 4 in the 8th to take the lead, add 3 insurance runs in the 9th. It's a 10-7 victory as the Giants are making sure they get all 3 games against the Rockies. Dominic Smith hits his first home run of the season, and Mickey Moniak goes deep for the Rockies as it's a different comeback this time. From down 5, the Rockies score 6 unanswered. They needed this one as they get Orlando Arcia hitting the walk-off single. 3 comeback games. Giants taking 2 of 3 from the Rockies. 8-7 the final in that one. And lastly, the series to watch, Dodgers and Padres. Game 1, back and forth. Will Smith homers. The Dodgers tie the game up. We head to extras. Dodgers score 2. Padres score 1. The first game goes to the Dodgers 8-7, but the Padres come back. Manny Machado goes deep. The Padres score 11 unanswered as Kike Hernandez pitches 2 1/3 and faces 13 batters. Yikes, LA. 11-1 Padres in that one to even up the series. The big finale has Teoscar Hernandez hitting a go-ahead 3-run home run. That's the difference as the Dodgers took a 5-2 victory and take 2 of 3 from the Padres for your series recap. All right, now let's get to the game of the week, and I'm going to say games of the week. I want to cover 2 games here. First one, we're going to Colorado. I mean, this series was just incredible. The Giants come back in Game 1 from down 3. They come back again in Game 2. But how about the Rockies come back in Game 3? It starts in the top of the second. Tyler Fitzgerald, a sac fly. Logan Porter, an RBI single. Heliot Ramos, a 2-run single. It's 4-0 Giants in the second inning. Bottom of the 4th, the Rockies get on the board. Ryan Ritter, a 2-run single, cuts the lead in half to 4-2. And then top of the 5th, it's Dominic Smith, first home run of the season. I miss when Dominic Smith was a terror for the Mets back in COVID. It's a 3-run home run. The Giants are leading by 5 against the 2025 Rockies. Of course, you think they're going to hold on to this one. Bottom of the 6th, Mickey Moniak, he hits his 7th home run of the season. Good for him, but it's a solo shot. The Rockies are still down 4. Bottom 7 now, Theo Estrada, 2-run double. I mean, you go from a 4-run deficit to a 2-run deficit. You still have 2 innings. You're feeling okay a little bit. Enter the bottom of the 9th, up by 2. The Giants are thinking, yeah, we got this. Brenton Doyle reaches on a fielder's choice that would score a run, and a fielding error by Casey Schmidt at third base makes it a 1-run game. And then with the bases loaded, Orlando Arcia, a 2-run single to left field, bobbled by Ramos. 1 run scores a tie, and in comes McMahon to win it. 8-7 the final as the Rockies come back. A fantastic game. Good for them. And now Baltimore is the only team without a walk-off win. So good to get off that list if you're Colorado. But of course, we have another really important game. Game 1 between the Dodgers and the Padres. This was a huge series for both teams, obviously. And of course, really important that the Dodgers were able to sneak out that extra game. Top of the first in this one, Freddie Freeman an RBI double, and then Will Smith a sac fly. Dodgers first inning, quick 2 runs on the board. That's what you love to see. But even more, the Padres answer in the bottom of the first. Manny Machado an RBI double, Jackson Merrill a sac fly. They get those 2 runs right back, and that kind of sets the tone and pace for this series. Bottom of the second, Fernando Tatis would steal second, and because of a throwing error by Will Smith, Jake Cronenworth comes in to score from third base. It's a 3-2 Padres lead. Teoscar, though, a sac fly in the top of the third, ties it right back up, and then Will Smith, a 2-run homer, his 6th on the season, puts the Dodgers up 2. It's 5-3. But in the bottom of the third, the Padres get all those runs plus more back with the bases loaded. Tyler Wade, a bases clearing triple. Machado scores, Merrill scores, Bogart scores, and from down 2 to up 1 with a swing of the bat, it would stay 6-5 until the top of the 5th. Hai-Seung Kim would double in a run as the Dodgers tie it up 6-6, and from there we would have 4 straight no runs scored. It would stay 6-6 until the 10th inning in extras, where it's Andy Pages who delivers an RBI double to put the Dodgers up. Tommy Edman would add an insurance run with a single, and that would prove important because in the bottom of the 10th, Jackson Merrill would double in a run to make it 8-7, but they cannot finish the job. The Dodgers take an 8-7 victory to open up this series, and very important that they did so. Those were your games of the week, and let's get things kicking off here. And I want to talk about Aaron Civale and what happened over the last couple of days. And when I say the last couple, I mean the last couple of days. Yesterday, Aaron Civale, pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. It was his birthday. Happy birthday, Aaron Civale. The Brewers posted on their Twitter, happy birthday, the socials, we love this guy. And then less than 2 hours later, it comes out that he apparently had requested a trade. He was moved to the bullpen. He made a start against the Braves this week. It was the one where he gave up a home run to Acuna before getting pulled. And of course, things start to fly off the rails. Olsen goes deep. Eli White goes deep. But regardless, it wasn't a great start for Aaron Civale. And he was apparently told that he'd be making the move to the bullpen. And for Civale, I guess that didn't sit right with him. He's had a lengthy career. He started out with Cleveland back in 2019. He's pitched in 7 years. He's got a 40-37 record, a 4.06 ERA, and in 122 games, he's made 122 starts. So he's been a starter this whole time. He's played with the Guardians for most of his career, spent some time in Tampa Bay before getting traded last year to Milwaukee, where he was good for them. A 6-3 record, a 3.53 ERA in 14 starts. He was great. This year hasn't gone off to the best start, a 4.91 ERA in 5 starts, 22 innings, and a 1-2 record. And the Brewers, with plenty of pitching and more talent on the way, apparently told him that he'd be getting the move to the bullpen, which, again, didn't sit right. So he requests a trade. Less than 24 hours from making that request, the Brewers have traded Aaron Civale to the Chicago White Sox in exchange for Andrew Vaughn. And I saw this morning, and I thought, this is hilarious. This is what should happen. And I mean, listen, I know there's a lot behind the games that you'll never understand, and you never know what goes on through, important aspects. But I never thought it was right for players to request a trade. Obviously Civale, from being a starter, he wants to be a starter. I get that aspect of it. You're 122 games, 122 starts. You don't want to make the change. That's fair. That's a fair response. But at the end of the day, you are a Milwaukee Brewer. You're supposed to help your team win games in any which way it comes. If they need you for 5 innings, to start a game and go 5 innings, give up a couple of hits, a couple of runs even, that's your job, that's your job. But if they're saying, hey, we think you're going to be better, coming out of the bullpen for 2-3 innings, and you're going to be a lot more effective, and it's going to help us a lot more, you smile, you say, of course, I want to win with you guys because I'm on your team. Instead, calls him out, wants to leave, and sure enough, leaves the next day to the White Sox, where, I'll be honest, I think if I was Aaron Civale, I would have been much happier coming out of the Brewers bullpen than starting games for the White Sox. The piece they got back, again, mentioned Andrew Vaughn, one of those top prospects in their system from years ago when the White Sox were supposed to be something good. And has never been able to figure it out really. In his 5 years with the White Sox, he has a negative 0.4 WAR. He has 77 home runs, a 709 OPS, 248 batting average. But it seems like since 2022 really, which is his best season, you could make a debate for 2023 actually. 2023 a 1.1 WAR, 21 home runs, a 743 OPS, 258 batting average. Since then, those last 2 years have been abysmal. 2026 wasn't great, and so far this year, it's been his worst year of his career. A negative 1.6 WAR. He's only scored 9 runs, only 5 home runs, a 189 batting average, and a 531 OPS. Of course, we know that he's supposed to be, an offensive production. He's supposed to have the bat. When you go back to what he was and what he was scouted for, maybe he helps out with the Brewers. They can help him figure out his swing and help him, get back to being an absolute masher, because if that's the case, the Brewers easily steal a win of this trade here. The White Sox are getting a 30-year-old pitcher who has struggled this season, who is clearly frustrated with his former team, and I just find the whole situation funny, but I think teams should take note, because when players request trades, it shouldn't be, obviously you want to get, value back in what you get in training for. But like in basketball, a top player requests a trade and everyone's like, oh, he's going to one of the best teams in the league. If a player wants to leave your team, you should send him to the worst team, or at least like the worst team that you can, where you can still get value back for that player. I think this is hilarious. I love the Brewers for doing this. I think it's great. So for me, winners, the Brewers; losers, Civale, White Sox. You're there, Andrew Vaughn. Go be better. Go turn your career around. Love this. All right, moving on here. Let's talk about some top prospects that got the call. The main one and the really important one being the Red Sox calling up not only their number one prospect, but MLB's number one prospect. Roman Anthony, over this series against the Tampa Bay Rays, made his major league debut. The first game didn't go great. He had a huge blunder and a big mistake in the outfield on defense. A big error cost the team a couple of runs and potentially that game when you look back at it. The Red Sox fans were super happy, super hopeful for this kid. And even already, first game after that, you hear some of the boos coming in. Like, the Red Sox fans are passionate. They want to win. They like their team, but you cannot be making mistakes like that. He makes up for it, a 2-run double in his first hit in Game 2. Those 2 runs, were important. There's a 3-1 victory. Trevor Story homered in that game as well, but already Anthony coming up clutch. And then in the last game, you get Marcelo Mayer, got called up, week or 2 already before. He hit his first Major League home run a couple of days after that. And in this game, hits his second and third, already a multi-homer game. And I think for Boston, this is what you want. And this is what you want to have, is Roman Anthony and is, Marcelo Mayer and like the other kids they have there on top of the players they have there. Like, you want a spark plug. You bring in 2 of your top overall picks. Christian Campbell's been there, already been doing it from the start of the season. So now you have Roman Anthony, Mayer, and Campbell. these three prospects in the mix. You've got Jarren Duran and Devers as kind of these leaders. Trevor Story, this veteran, still got at bat. Abraham Toro and Carlos Navarez has kind of been popping off recently to cover up some other injuries they've gotten in like Tristan Casas and Bregman, Wilyer Bray, who went down now, and that's how we ended up getting Roman Anthony. The Red Sox have plenty of injuries. They've had to reestablish a lot of things, but now with these top prospects coming in, you want to say that the season can still be hopeful, it can still be saved, and that's a key thing going forward here. So Roman Anthony getting the call, good for him. The other prospect that got the call, the Angels, today actually I believe will be making his Major League debut. Christian Moore is the Angels' number one prospect in their system. He is getting the call, a power bat, second baseman. So that's always a little bit fun there. Not sure what the corresponding move was, but I did see that he's supposed to be getting the call. Very excited to see, top prospects and top kids, get their opportunities here. He's the Angels' number one prospect, which is, you think, hey, that's good, right? You want kind of your number one guys to be in the mix here and to be playing Major League important games. So very excited for that. Very excited to see Christian Moore, and we'll see what he's able to bring to the table. Moore and Roman Anthony getting some calls. Always fun when top prospects get a chance to shine, and all the best for both of these kids. And hopefully Moore is able to help out the Angels, who all of a sudden are in second in the division. I don't know when that happened, but I guess when the Angels pitching is right, because they had some great starts over this past week, and, hey, all of a sudden, here come the Halos again, so that's always good. Speaking of the Halos, actually, they played the A's this week, and we got to talk about Denzel Clarke really quickly. I mean, there's not really much to talk about. In case you missed it, he made an absolutely outstanding catch, an absolute robbery of a catch, one of the craziest catches I've seen in my life. Catch of the year, catch of the decade. How about catch of the century? Like, that thing was amazing. He's made some incredible catches since getting the call. He's been mandating center field for the A's. And he's just another one of those young, fun A's players who have been making this team kind of interesting to watch, despite not having, the best success because of their pitching. The lineup for the A's they've producing is a really fun team. They're starting to kind of turn things around. I know that big 11-game losing streak and that 9-game losing streak, losing 20 of 22 definitely throw your season under the bus, but I still like watching the A's play. I'm liking these players a lot, and Denzel Clarke is just another name added. We have Craig Kimbrel, who of course was DFA'd by the Braves after one appearance. He signed a minor league deal with the Rangers, so good for him, and maybe good for Texas, who also is kind of floundering about. I mean, this West Division, the AL West Division, it's like, oh, the Angels were bad, and now they're kind of getting better, and then the Rangers suck, and the A's are abysmal, and the Mariners, who were supposed to be this incredible juggernaut team, well, they're falling off, and they're not the only teams to be falling off currently. St. Louis also falling off. We saw them have a huge win streak alongside with the Twins. The Twins have kind of, kept it going. They're 36-32, half a game up on the Guardians, 8 games back of the Tigers, but they're second in the division still. The Cardinals just got swept by the Blue Jays. They've lost 5 straight. They're 3-7 in their last 10. And they've just been passed by the Brewers. They're 36-33. The Brewers 37-33. So still only a half a game up. But they're only a game up on the Reds. So all of a sudden, the Cardinals can be back in 4th place by Monday. So St. Louis falling off hard. They need to figure things out. And Seattle, I mean, they've got incredible talent. They're supposed to have incredible pitching. How has this happened? They've lost 3 straight. Of course, they got swept by the D-backs. They're 2-8 in their last 10, and they're under 500. They're 33-34, tied with the Angels. Cal Raleigh's having the best offensive season from a catcher I've ever seen. You've got Julio, who's supposed to be this great, star player on your team. And then you're supposed to have elite pitching. Andres Munoz last I checked, still hasn't given up a run. Let me see if that's true to date right now, because to be honest, I have no idea. But if it is, like, where are we going wrong, Seattle? Like, I'm just like I don't know. Matt Brash has a 0 ERA. Where is Mr. Andres Munoz? A 1.3. He's given up 4 earned runs. I'm guessing maybe the grand slam to Naylor this past week. But it's just spiraling out of nowhere, and it just, you hate to see it. They only have 2 qualified starters right now, Luis Castillo and Brian Wu, who have both been solid, a 3.31, a 3.39. It's been, okay there. You look at the offense for Seattle. I mean, Cal Raleigh, he's leading the way, a 1.001 WAR. He's got 26 home runs, and it's the whole package really. J.P. Crawford 780, Julio 748, Randy 736. Like, it's just not cutting it for these guys. Like, it's just not. Jorge Polanco, like, outside of Cal Raleigh, Dominic Canzone's there, but he's only played 5 games, so his 933 OPS looks exaggerated. The next best player offensively after Raleigh, 1.001 OPS, is J.P. Crawford, 780 OPS. They only have 1 player over 800. Cal Raleigh's been playing out of his mind. The pitching has just been like I just can't comprehend this. Matt Brash, 13 games, no runs, good for him. Munoz been good. But like, you go down the list, Bryce Miller, 10 starts, a 5.73 ERA. Trent Thornton kind of got blown up over the week here. It's just Brian Wu, 13, games, Luis Castillo, of course. Like, it's just not cutting it. Logan Gilbert, you want him to be healthy back and help him out, but Seattle in a huge slump, St. Louis in a huge slump. Of course, seasons of ups and downs, but from being first in the division for a long time, since like the beginning of April, really, and now the only team above 500 is the Houston Astros. They're at 38-30. They're easily right now first in the division. And they've just been doing it by quietly just playing decent baseball. It's the only division in baseball without a 40-win team. The NL West has the Dodgers and the Giants. Cubs at 42 in the Central. Mets 45 in the NL East. Tigers 45 in the West. And then the Yankees 42 in the East. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams with 40-plus wins. Don't worry, the Rockies are at 55 losses. So they're holding their own on the other end, but to each their own. You need to get out of the slump if you're Seattle and if you are St. Louis. Let's continue on now. Injury updates. We mentioned Wilyer Abreu from the Red Sox, the 10-day IL, strained oblique for him. Ryan Weathers from the Marlins, a 60-day IL. So it'll be a while since we'll see him back. Left lat strain there. Giants lose Matt Chapman on the 10-day IL with right hand inflammation. Not the time you want to see him go down. Nathan Lucas on the 7-day concussion IL for the Blue Jays. Chris Taylor, 10-day IL, a fractured left hand. Justin Martinez for the Diamondbacks, 15-day IL with a sprained elbow. Cole Reagan's 15-day IL with left rotator cuff strain. Kodai Senga will be heading on the IL, not yet, but it will be on the 15-day IL with the hamstring strain. He got hurt yesterday covering first base. And the Tigers get a big blow. Jackson Jobe, their young prospect, young rookie kid, he's done for the season. He will need Tommy John surgery and will miss the remainder of this year and some of next year. So bit of a blow there for Detroit, but they still feel confident that they'll be able to work things out. For outstanding performances now, Chris Sale, how do you like that? He can still do it, man. 7 innings, 5 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 11 strikeouts. Things of beauty from Sale. Yusei Kikuchi, his best start with the Angels, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, a walk, and 5 Ks. Merrill Kelly, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. Andrew Abbott, a complete game shutout. How do you like that, Cincy? 9 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 5 Ks. Absolute beautiful. Jose Soriano, 2 Angels pitchers going 7 innings or more, 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. If the Angels can get pitching like that on a day-to-day, they could actually compete. Dylan Cease against the Dodgers, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 5 walks, and 11 strikeouts. Jesus Luzardo, a bounce-back start. He needed that. 6 innings, 5 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 10 Ks. He adjusted his mechanics a little bit. New glove location. Not sure if you saw that. Absolutely great stuff from him. Spencer Schwellenbach goes the distance for a complete game. 9 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 9 Ks. He's a big help for that Braves bullpen. David Peterson, complete game shutout for him against the Nats. 9 innings, 6 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 6 Ks. You love to see it. We had 3 complete games, 2 of which are shutouts this week. You love to see it. Framber Valdez, 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, but 12 strikeouts. And then, of course, Tarek Skubal, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. Things you love to see here. Moving on, we've got our stat leaderboard. Not many differences. Aaron Judge leading in average, leading in hits, 392, 98. Cal Raleigh leads in home runs at 26. Alonso still leads in RBIs at 63. Ohtani still leads on runs at 68. It is now Soto who leads alone in walks, no longer tied with Devers. He has 56. We have a new stolen base leader, Jose Caballero. 25 stolen bases for him. He now is the leader in that. OPS is still Aaron Judge, 1.264. For wins, we finally have a single. Max Fried, the only pitcher with 9 wins on the season. He's having a fantastic season. ERA currently is Kodai Senga at 1.47, but of course with his IL stint looming, it will no longer be him soon enough when he is not qualified. Mackenzie Gore still holding off Tarek Skubal and some other pitchers in strikeouts. 114 for Gore. How long can he keep this up? It's got to end soon. And saves is still Robert Suarez. 21 saves for him. And that is your stat leaderboard, which will now bring us to our upcoming series for the weekend here. The Angels are in Baltimore to take on the Oilers. Yankees and Red Sox rivalry continues. Reds at Tigers, A's at Royals, Twins at Astros, Guardians at Mariners, White Sox at Rangers, Rays at Mets, Blue Jays at Phillies, Rockies at Braves, Marlins at Nationals, Pirates at Cubs for a 4-game series, and Cardinals at Brewers for a 4-game series. Both of those had a game yesterday, one of which I'm very excited to talk about. I've had to hold myself back until next episode. And then you have the NL West battle, Padres at D-backs, and then Giants at Dodgers. The Giants and Dodgers, they're separated currently by 1 game, and the Padres are 2 games out. So if the Padres can sweep Arizona, then, Giants and Dodgers, if they, kind of back and forth it, who knows? And the Diamondbacks, if they could sweep the Padres, they kind of get back into the mix. So the NL West cooking right now with the 4 teams battling it out. And that brings us to our playoff predictor here. Currently, if the season ended today, you would have your Rays in the 6th seed taking on the Astros in the 3 seed, Twins in the 4 seed taking on the Blue Jays in the Twins in the 5 seed taking on the Blue Jays in the 4 seed. The Astros beat the Rays, Blue Jays beat the Twins. Blue Jays are the hottest team in baseball, it seems like right now. ALDS, Astros at Yankees, Blue Jays at Tigers. We've seen Astros at Yankees before. Give me the Astros. And the Blue Jays are hot. They beat the Tigers. So our ALCS matchup is Blue Jays at Astros. And it is your Toronto Blue Jays that beat the Houston Astros. On the west side, you've got the NL side, the Padres in the 6th seed taking on the Dodgers in the 4th seed. They just played. Phillies at Giants in that one. Dodgers beat the Padres and the Giants beat the Phillies. So you have Dodgers at Cubs, Giants at Mets for your NLDS matchup. Cubs beat the Dodgers, Giants beat the Mets. NLCS matchup, Giants at Cubs. That's a fun one there. Giants upset the Cubs. They head to the World Series. It's Blue Jays. It's San Francisco. The Toronto Blue Jays, San Francisco Giants. They face off. And it is your Toronto Blue Jays that would win your 2025 World Series if the season ended today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here today. Thank you for clicking on the video. Tune it on in. I appreciate you all. And I will see you all on Monday.